Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI? Too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the History Lesson Podcast with your host, Ringside Robert.
Good evening, everybody. This is Ringside Robert, and welcome to another edition of the History Lesson Podcast on the Ringside Reporter Radio Network. Today, we're going to be talking about a fight I completely forgot about until I decided to review it. The Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya, against Felix Tito Trinidad. What a hell of a fight, and what a crazy decision. But we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I've got a rant for a few minutes on our fine people at Blog Talk Radio. People, you need to get your act together. Sunday, before we did our Ringside Reporter podcast, 30 minutes before the show, you decide to make it impossible for all Skype callers to call in. We got people that like to listen from overseas, and occasionally they like to be able to call in. And you're telling us that Skype callers are no longer allowed to call in. Look, people, you're going to lose a lot of business if you continue on this vein. That's number one. And number two, it took me several attempts to call into the show this evening because your phone system that you have here didn't want to recognize the codes that we have to enter to access our account so we can get shows started. Look, I enjoy what I do here. I enjoy doing the History Lesson Podcast. I enjoy doing Ringside Reporter. I enjoy calling into other shows that involve the world of boxing on this platform. But if you continue to screw up and not make it plausible for people to do their work, your platform is going to crash and burn because nobody's going to want to pay for your services. Get your engineers out there, get to work, and allow people to call in on Skype and make it easier for us to put in our codes when we have to start a show. Okay? Now, I got that off my chest. Start working with the account holders of your accounts and make it easier for us to get our podcast off the ground. Okay? This really pisses me off. Anyway, I want to cover other news and notes. All-Star Boxing won an $8.5 million judgment against one Canelo Álvarez. So Canelo is going to have to pay $8.5 million out of his pocket to All-Star Boxing. And that's going to be good for them because they can actually promote a few more shows. Thanks, Canelo, for not living up to your contract, and now you got to pay for it. You better establish a decent fight because you obviously have to make up for the $8.5 million that you just lost. And Anthony Crawler is going to be fighting Jorge Renales in September. That's going to be his next title defense in London, so good for him. Anyway, on to Oscar de la Hoya and Felix Tito Trinidad. Man, there's a lot I completely forgot about this fight. De La Hoya came out and completely dominated, in my opinion, the first 6 rounds. I think by the end of it, by the end of the first 6 rounds, I scored it 5-1. The only round I gave to Tito was the 4th round. But in the second half of the fight, it was a completely different story. Felix Tito Trinidad came on and did quite well for himself and pulled out a split decision or majority decision victory. And you know me, I always complain about judges all the damn time. Well, on this one, I don't think you could have complained. Because after 8 rounds, Oscar decided to put it in the deep freeze and pull out the 4 corners offense because he gave away rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12. I scored round 7 for De La Hoya. I scored round 8 for Trinidad. And then and those were questionable. I could have gone either way with those, but I ended up giving Tito the last 4 rounds because Oscar gave it away, and the scorecards read 114-114, a draw, and then the other 2. Now here's where I have a problem with scoring. 115-113, I don't have a problem with. But I don't know how one judge in this panel seen this fight 115-114. Where did the extra point come from? You know, because 115-113 is 7 rounds to 5. 114-114 is 6 rounds apiece. There were no point deductions. So how in the world do you come up with 115-114? I don't know. And unfortunately, these 2 never rematched. But, after going over the fight today, it's kind of too bad because I definitely would have liked to have seen a second one. I thought Oscar boxed beautifully and I thought he clearly would have won the fight, but I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking because, I listened to the audio between the corners in all 12 rounds, and I don't remember anywhere in that fight where Oscar's corner told him, hey, you've got this in the bag. You don't have to do anything. Now, they said that in the last couple of rounds. Round 11 and round 12, they said, oh, you've got it, you can box, it's in the bag. But I don't remember anything before that. But, wow. And I also went over the Felix Tito Trinidad William Joppy fight. And I love how dominant Felix was in that fight. William Joppy didn't have a chance. I love Tito. He's one of the greatest Puerto Ricans of all time. And it's kind of too bad that Oscar and Tito Felix didn't do that. Didn't put it together again for a second time. I was just amazed. I'm glad I'm doing this series because it totally amazes me about how much you forget about something until you decide to break these fights down. And that's why I want Blog Talk to get their act together, because I'm enjoying doing these shows. I want to continue doing all the shows that I do, and I want to continue calling into all the shows that I call into. Blog Talk, people obviously know about you. People like using your service. But come on, get your act together. Because, people have got to be able to, when we schedule a show, we got to be able to call in and get our show started. And especially if we're doing a show where we take phone calls, we want people to be able to call in. That reminds me, on Sunday, don't forget about the Ringside Reporter podcast between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern. You can call area code 323-870-3857 and express your opinion. This week, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot to talk about. I think Fonforo will win his fight. I think Rasheen Warren will make up for the robbery that he got robbed. And I think he'll get the title that he deserves. And I think Erickson Lubin will do his thing. We have a very weak boxing as far as live fights this weekend. And those fights will be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific on NBC, Saturday, June 18th from Chicago. And our own Eric Lordo will be representing Ringside Reporter at Ringside, and I'm sure there'll be some interesting stories that come out of that, and we'll have more to talk about on Sunday. Also, now this is just a rumor. It's not confirmed, so don't get excited. But one of the next possible for one Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin is Chris Eubank Jr. The fight could take place in September in London, apparently. So stay tuned. You could see that fight at 168, or you could see it at 160. Now, I'm not saying it's a done deal. The key word here is it's a rumored deal, so please pay attention to that. The Anthony Crawless fight is signed. It's signed, sealed, and delivered for September. But the Gennady Golovkin fight that I just mentioned is not, so please stay tuned. I also want to talk about Deontay Wilder and Chris Arreola. That was made official yesterday, Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. That fight was made official, and that'll be for Saturday, July 16th. And from what I'm hearing, that might be on Fox, so stay tuned for that. And also, we have the rumored return of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against J. Leon Love. That's supposed to take place on the same day in Carson, California. The Wilder fight is supposed to take place in Alabama, so Chris Arreola will be on the Alabama barbecue. I'm not going to get all over Deontay Wilder for taking this. I know boxing fans are upset, and in normal cases, I would agree with you. But in this case, Wilder went to Sheffield, England, trained for 13 weeks to get ready for Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin failed his drug test, caused that fight to be canceled. Do I like the fact that he's fighting Chris Arreola? No, I do not. But I'm not going to get all over Deontay Wilder's case for taking this fight when he did everything he was legally supposed to, and he passed all of his drug tests. He didn't fail. I'm willing to give Deontay Wilder a pass. I think he's going to knock out Arreola. I hope for Deontay's sake he gets some rounds in. But in my opinion, this will be the last soft touch that Deontay Wilder will be allowed to have. Okay? And I hope Deontay Wilder does everything that he can to get his purse from the Povetkin fight that he was entitled to. I think it was $4.6 million. I hope he takes all the legal steps necessary to make sure that he gets paid, because he didn't do anything wrong. Okay? He deserves to be compensated for the time that he gave. So, that's my opinion on that. Am I happy about the fight? No. But I'm willing to give the champ a pass here. And I'm not the kind of individual that likes to give a champ a pass. Okay? I like champions to, fight legitimate contenders. But for this case, I'm going to give him a pass. Ariella is going to be 0-3 in title fights, and that's going to be that. I'm hoping that after this fight, that Wilder is given a legitimate opponent. Okay. I'm hoping that he's able to fight the winner, say, of Klitschko and Fury, something like that. If I want to get upset about a fight, I could get upset about Klitschko and Fury fighting. But again, that was in Wladimir Klitschko's contract. He was entitled to exercise the rematch clause. After what I saw last November, I don't want to see Wladimir Klitschko in the ring again. But hey, he was entitled to that. And HBO, I know, didn't want to show this because they were discussing it at the first fight. But again, Wladimir Klitschko had one more fight with HBO, so they have to fulfill their contract. I just hope we see a decent fight on July 9th. And I hope Andrew Fonfora is successful on Saturday, June 18th, because then I'm hoping that Fonfora and Stevenson can get made for a rematch, and this time I give Andrew Fonfora a legitimate chance of taking that title away from him. Because Adonis Stevenson, has made an art form about not getting in the ring and not defending his title. So I don't think he deserves to have that belt, and I hope Fonfora or somebody can take that title away from him. Anyway, there's not much else going on in the world of boxing these days. I've got to give congratulations to everybody that put together the Muhammad Ali service. That was a fantastic piece of footage. I enjoyed that 3 hours. Billy Crystal did an outstanding job. That was the best eulogy I heard. So congrats to him. And for those that have been asking about whether the Muhammad Ali funeral will be on my tree, the answer is no, it's not available. By the way, if you want to call my boxing tree, it's 773-572-7781, and listen to everything there. And if you want to get a hold of me on Twitter, it's Ringside Robert. You want to get a hold of Eric, it's Ringside73, or Joe Habib at JHabib1, or Beating the Odds with Beeb. And we'll have a wonderful breakdown of the Sean Porter-Keith Thurman fight on the Sunday, June 19th show. Joe is putting together a wonderful segment for that. So stay tuned for Beating the Odds with Beeb on Sunday. And I think that's about all I can talk about this week. Questions or comments, you can leave them, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next week. And if you guys have suggestions, please leave them for me, and I will definitely take them under consideration. Catch everyone later, and we'll talk to you on Sunday, and we'll talk to you on the Ringside. We'll talk to you on the history lesson next week. Take it easy, everybody. Goodbye.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI, too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI, too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.